Hi, my name is Christopher Tate. I want to show you a use case for importing data into a database with an asynchronous workflow using Java Vert.x technology to import data about GPU devices in our OpenShift cluster and to introduce a bug that makes one of the database insert statements fail for a list of GPU devices being imported, and how you can catch that and handle it with reactive code and delete what you were previously importing via REST API requests, as an example. So I have a project, it's open source, it's called ai-telemetry. It's found at github.com/ocp-on-nerc/ai-telemetry, ocp-on-nerc/ai-telemetry. And we developed this project in the cloud in OpenShift AI in the New England Research Cloud OpenShift environment. So this is Vert.x reactive code that imports GPU devices from files and sorry, not from files, but from ACM observability or Prometheus metrics. So let me just show you how this works. So I'm going to run and debug this application. So it's starting, and it's going to immediately start doing imports. So when it does, it's running this code here. So it's stopped in the middle of the import process. So this is our import data with REST, like a REST API request. So what we do is we get the credentials to connect to Prometheus or ACM. Actually, it's the Prometheus Keycloak proxy that we built to query metrics using credentials by Keycloak. And so we made a request. Let me just start over and jump through this step by step. So so this site is running, and if I refresh the page, you'll see no GPU device found. So then I come back here and I restart the application, which will restart the import process. And this will start the import process immediately, where it's going to request an auth token from keycloak.apps.obs.nerc.mghpcc.org at this URI. And I'm going to set another breakpoint. So we jump to this point when we've obtained an access token. And we're going to make a request to the Prometheus Keycloak proxy now at metrics.apps.obs.nerc.mghpcc.org. So we put the access token into the header, authorization header, and then we will jump to this next breakpoint where we were able to get metrics for GPU data. So you can see DCGM, this is some metrics data. Now for each of this should have returned an array of objects. So let's see, it says it's size 18. So it should be importing 18 different objects. So it's going to add each of these as a list of futures to be imported asynchronously. And we do this futures.all-futures to run the import API for all of these GPU devices we found from the metrics. And if it's successful, then it will complete and be done. If it fails, then we need to clean up what we had already imported. If some of them were automatically imported, but one of them fails, we want to clean up the ones that failed, which is the second part of this, but we'll get to that in a second. So this is the import process for a GPU device. We can go to the first one and see that it's putting in a GPU device ID and a cluster name, NERC-OCP prod, and a node name, worker 102, and a GPU device number 0, and its current utilization, which is 0. So some of these will succeed and some of these will fail. So let's just try continuing. So this one successfully imported, another one imported, another one imported, another one, another one, another one, another one, another one. But this one failed. Let's see what the exception is. It says response status code 400. So let's check the logs here. Let's see. When I get to the bottom of these logs, put import GPU device failed. And it says error, syntax error at or near bug. So if I go to my import code here and search for bug, you'll see that if the node name equals worker 97, then I introduced a bug into this code. So that explains why we're seeing a failure here. So let me go back to this API and see where we get to next. So I'm going to remove these breakpoints and we should come to either a success or a failure. And we came to a failure and I had it. So this is doing a bunch of importing asynchronously. And so if you immediately handle the failure, there may be another request which accidentally slips in after your asynchronous code completes. And just in case, I set a timer for 2 seconds so that we wouldn't get any requests coming in after we handle the failure. So let me show you what happened here. If I refresh the page, you can see it imported 14 GPU devices, but not 18 because they were originally 18. So what we're going to do now is we're going to send a delete request for GPU devices that were created after a certain date. And you can see this date is here. Let's see, GPU device. Let's see. Now, where is it? It's declared. Well, the way I debug, I can't show you the date, but what this is going to do is send the delete request. And if everything is deleted successfully, then we should come to this breakpoint here. So I continue. Oh, it says failure. Let's see what happened here. Did it clean everything up? Oh, no. So I think it's because we waited too long with our debuggers. So let me try this again. Let me do this without breakpoints, so many breakpoints. So I'm just gonna archive some of these records. And now we have no GPU devices found. So let me come back here and stop and restart this. I think our access token expired to keycloak. So that's probably what happened. So I post and Let me get rid of these ones. Okay, we're going to come to this point where some of them, one of the worker 97 did not import correctly. So we have 14 again, and then we come back here and continue. And now it says deleted GPU devices created during failed imports successfully. And if we come back to this page, you can see no GPU devices found. So it did an import on several of them, but it realized that one of them failed. So because one of them failed, it went and deleted what it just imported. And now we're back to a clean state with no GPU devices found. So this is one example of how to solve this problem with Java Vert.x. And I will push up this code now. So I do add-i. One through 7. Oops. Update 1 through 7. Adding an example of importing GPU devices. Oh, but we don't want to actually introduce this bug. So I'm just going to pull this out. Okay, and then importing GPU devices with REST, git commit amend, git push. And then if I stop this and start it now that I've removed the bug, hopefully it'll import everything successfully. And this time it completes successfully. And then we come back here. And now we have 18 GPU devices. Anyway, hope that was helpful.